Thanks for joining us on the Media News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. With less than 12 days to the commencement of the rescheduled 2015 general elections, INEC Chairman Professor Atahiru Jega is currently holding a town hall meeting in Abuja where he would answer questions from the public on the Commission's preparedness and other sundry issues. Jega has commented on the readiness of the Commission for the elections after the initial poll shift. He restated the essence of the use of card readers during the polls, saying that it will help to keep information about who has been accredited, and if there's any dispute about accreditation figures after the election, the card reader will help to solve it. On the issue of security during the elections, the INEC chairman hinted on the use of the military support to civil authorities if there is a breakdown of law and order as provided in the Constitution. We'll bring you details as they unfold. The All Progressives Congress has accused the President Goodluck Jonathan's administration of sponsoring ethnic militias to foment trouble before, during and after the forthcoming general elections. The party contends that 9 billion naira reportedly paid out to some ex-militants and ethnic militias recently is aimed at mobilizing them to scuttle the polls. This allegation is contained in a statement in Lagos on Sunday by its National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed. APC argued that the protest by members of the movement for the actualization of sovereign state of Biafra last week, seeking the sacking of INEC chairman Atahiru Jega, was orchestrated by the federal administration as part of its continuing efforts to sabotage the elections. The APC said the next group that had been mobilized to protest against Jega and the use of card reader is the Odua People's Congress, which is also a beneficiary of the 9 billion naira payout, ostensibly for pipeline protection, but in reality to prepare the ethnic militias for their reprehensible role in scuttling the elections. APC alleged that more ethnic militias are to be enlisted by the Jonathan administration to continue the protest against Jega and the card reader, which it says is to give the impression that Nigerians want Jega sacked and were also against the use of card reader. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has dismissed claims by the APC that the Jonathan administration is sponsoring ethnic militias to disrupt the March 28 and April 11 general elections. It also justified the employment and compensation given to families of victims of the Nigerian Immigration Service employment tragedy. Spokesman for PDP Campaign Council, Femi Fani-Kayode, insisted that it was not true that the party or the federal government has set aside 9 billion naira to sponsor ethnic militias. He claimed that it was the APC that has consistently supported and sponsored Boko Haram in substance and in their utterances over the last few years. Fani-Kayode also maintained that the gesture of President Goodluck Jonathan to the family of victims of the immigration recruitment stampede was a noble gesture, contrary to APC's position. While the trade of accusations is ongoing as the APC has again accused Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido of spearheading a campaign of calumny against its presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari. It claims that the governor is collaborating with President Goodluck Jonathan and Vice President Namadi Sambo to present Buhari as a figurehead who will be at the mercy of his running mate if he wins the March 28 election. This, according to spokesman for APC campaign organization Garba Shehu, is to give the people of northern Nigeria the impression that the southwest region would be the ones running the government. He made these claims at the news conference in Abuja.
That Lamido should go on the network radio, and all stations, government radio stations controlled by them, have been asked to link up to the network and to broadcast Sule Lamido's interview. Now, Lamido is supposed to tell the northern people that it will be unfair to have General Muhammadu Buhari as president. It will be unfair to the north because what it will mean is that the southwest will indirectly be getting another term of office after President Obasanjo's 8 years, and that Northerners will be asked not to be deceived into voting for APC. In any case, other members of the PDP, including associates of Sule Lamido, know better, and they can tell of the kind of style in terms of leadership that General Muhammadu Buhari harbors. But of the millions of US dollars that Mr. Jonathan is said to be sharing to traditional and religious leaders in the Southwest, how much of that money did Mr. Sule Lamido collect on behalf of northern rulers and religious leaders? And lastly then, can we ask Mr. Sule Lamido, what is his response to the pejorative references that Mrs. Patient Jonathan has been making against the Northerners?
Ex-Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, says the APC has strong evidence against President Goodluck Jonathan on his alleged plot to force an interim government on Nigeria. He said the allegation made by the national leader of APC, Bola Tinubu, that his life has been threatened, confirmed the desperation of the PDP-led federal government and Jonathan. Fayemi, who was speaking in Aramoko, Ekiti on Saturday during the 40-day fidao for the late Jejelola Akingbolu and Raliat Akingbolu, also lambasted Governor Ayodele Fayose for allegedly lying against the APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari over his health status. The ex-governor said Jonathan could not deny that he invited Tinubu to be part of the planned interim government, saying the APC leader made the allegation in good faith and not to discredit the president or heat up the party. Fayemi assured that Buhari will keep to his promise not to dig into the financial corruption perpetrated in the past under Jonathan, if that is what members of the ruling party are afraid of. Fayemi declared that the government of Jonathan will be held responsible if anything bad happens to Tinubu. Former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode has slammed the APC for running newspaper advertorials with what he described as renounced and outdated views about President Goodluck Jonathan. Fani-Kayode, who is now spokesman for the PDP presidential campaign, described the action as a measure of desperation on the part of the opposition party. He said in a statement issued in Abuja that he was surprised that APC has resorted to buying full-page adverts of outdated quotes about President Goodluck Jonathan from old essays he wrote while he was in their ranks. The PDP campaign spokesman said he renounced those views about President Jonathan long ago and had since returned to the ruling party. He, however, reminded APC that one of its chieftains, Nasir El-Rufai, had once described General Buhari as outdated and unelectable, and that its national leader Bola Tinubu also once said Buhari was obsessed with power, wicked, sadistic, and unreliable. Fani-Kayode noted that in spite of the advertorials, he would continue to focus attention on APC and its leaders. Former governor of Adamawa State, Murtala Nyako, has asked the presiding judge of the Bauchi division of the Federal High Court, Justice M.J. Omar, to return a suit challenging his removal from office in July 2014 to the Yola division, so that the judgment already reserved in the suit can be delivered. Justice Bilikisu Aliyu, who presided over the case in the Yola division of the court, had on February 2, 2015, concluded hearing in the suit and adjourned full judgment before the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Ibrahim Auta, transferred the case to Bauchi. Justice Auta had withdrawn the suit from Justice Aliyu on the account of a pending petition before the date already fixed for judgment. Justice Auta had transferred the case to Bauchi after 3 weeks of withdrawing the suit from Justice Aliyu. Nyako, through his counsel, Mr. Olukoya Ogungbeje, had queried the basis of withdrawal of the suit and its subsequent transfer to Bauchi. In his letter dated March 12, 2014, Ogungbeje informed Justice Omar that his court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the suit. The lawyer therefore urged the judge not to hear the case, but to order it to be transferred back to Yola. Meanwhile, a federal high court in Abuja has ordered the extradition of Abdul Adewale Kekereekun to the United Kingdom, where he is wanted for murder-related offences. Justice Ahmad Mohammed approved Kekereekun's extradition after his lawyers dropped their objection to the request brought by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation in the face of compelling argument. Kekereekun is to be extradited after 15 days from the date of the ruling. He is wanted by the UK government for the murder of one Marcus Hall, an 18-year-old who was beaten and stabbed to death 14 years ago outside a nightclub in Luton, England. The rest of the culprits have been prosecuted and jailed in the United Kingdom, but Kekereekun has been on the run until his arrest in Nigeria for identity theft. It's the Midday News. We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with stories outside Nigeria. Stick around, don't go away.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as weak, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. You can also get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG, and we're also streaming live on YouTube now. You can watch our programs and news live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space and news. Still with stories in Nigeria, there's been a fire outbreak at the Electoral Institute of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Abuja. The flames were, however, restricted to a warehouse before they were put out on Saturday night. When CoreTV News visited the scene on Sunday afternoon, there was no sign of a major destruction of the facility. The fire, according to an eyewitness, was from a power supply point in the warehouse where past electoral materials were stored.
Say they are all old stuff.
Okay, they are not going to be used for election. Okay, okay.
And now to Oyo State, where family members of victims of the recent spate of political violence involving members of their court party have cried out for justice on those responsible for the death of their loved ones, as well as pleading for assistance to be able to move on with life after the loss. Omataya Law paid a visit to the homes of 3 victims who lost their lives at a political gathering organized by a court party in the state, and brought back this report.
The gnashing of teeth and lamentation continue for family members of victims of the recent political violence that rocked the Odinjo area in Ibadan. This unemployed mother of 2, Mofuliatu Mutiu, says the news of her husband's sudden death has been a major source of heartache, stating that his personality as an easygoing citizen is undeserving of the fate that recently befell him.
A visit to
late Lateef Akinyemi's home presented further proof of the pain that persists among family members of the victims. For the mother, 1 out of 4 wives, and the daughter of the 3 children the 30-year-old deceased left behind, government should intervene in their case and render the necessary assistance they can to the family.
Nobody that is going to take care of the children, except the government should just help me and take care of these children.
She should send me to school.
Okay. What can you say about your daddy as a young man?
I can't send.
Okay. So you want those that You want the government to send you to school?
Yes.
Mother of late 18-year-old Sharafa Adedeji Basira Adedeji said the last she saw of her son on the Sunday morning was when he left him for church, only to receive the news of his death a few hours later. She stated that life has been unbearable for her after the loss of her last son, who was the only companion she had with her. With deeming hope of what the future might bring to them after their loss, these relatives or victims of the political violence have charged the government to provide adequate security for residents, while also advising politicians to exercise civility and discourage all forms of thuggery to prevent future occurrence. Omotayo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Chairman of Barikilagi in local government area in Plateau State has called on the federal government to come to the aid of his area to salvage it from the invading insurgents that are escaping the firepower of the Nigerian military in the northeastern part of the country. Emmanuel Luman, who is also the vice president of Algon, says that the same treatment and military attention being given to the security crisis in Bornu, Adamawa and Yobe should also be given to Barikiladi.
We've discovered that the insurgents have penetrated Barikiladi local government. With the drastic effort that the government is trying to dislodge them from Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa State, a lot of them have run to Barikiladi local government. So this call for an emergency. The federal government need to put Barikiladi on alert, need to come in with security agency to go right into Barikiladi town and the environment to search for these insurgents.
The local government boss added that if urgent steps are not taken to nip the activities of the Plateau insurgents in the bud, they could grow strong someday and overrun the special task force helping to maintain law and order in the state.
If urgent actions are not being taken, believe me, it's going to be another disgrace to the entire country, as it is the case in Maiduguri and other places. We've tried our best as a government in the local government, but it's beyond the local government itself. The state has also tried by putting in all the machineries in place to ensure that peace reigns in the local government. But we have some elements in the local government that are bent, that are conniving with insurgents to ensure that they create havoc to the citizens.
Meanwhile, there is report that security has been beefed up around Barikiladi local government area to curb the recent upsurge of attacks. This was disclosed by the Special Task Force, a body set up to maintain peace in the state. STF disclosed that there is an increase in military patrols as a result of the resumption of attacks, which saw the killing of over 10 people in the past week. The spokesman for the STF, Ikedichi Uweha, stated that attacks and counterattacks are responsible for the recent skirmishes and called on the people not to take laws into their hands and report suspicious movements of the security agencies. He stated that anyone trying to disrupt the peace will face the wrath of the law. Back in Lagos, where traders at the popular Mile 2 market have called on government to put in preventive measure that will guide against another fire incident in the market. The traders made the calls during the visit of Gbenga Ashafa, the senator representing Lagos East in the Senate, to the part of the market affected by the recent fire incident. Abiola Oluwole has more on the story, as presented from our studios.
The visit of Gbenga Ashafa was meant to commiserate with victims of the recent fire incident at the popular Mile 12 market. 3 lives and goods worth millions of naira were lost during the incident. The market leaders narrate their ordeal. After the inferno, they commended the prompt response of the Lagos State Emergency Service during the unfortunate incident.
So, since that Friday, we have been in very painful mood. And that is why we are calling upon the government to come to our rescue, to assist our members. Because as you can see this line, all this line, they are all shops. Everything got burnt. Some did not pick up a pin from their shop. And this is the problem we have been encountering. But unfortunately, this so-called PDP people they came here yesterday to politicize what happened here.
For his part, Gbenga Ashafa and the State Commissioner for Special Duties, Wale Ahmed, promised government's support. They however cautioned the traders against politicizing the incident.
If anybody is coming here to come and politicize anything, they are too late. Immediately it happened. We were here. When the smoke was still on. When the fire was raging, we were here. APC fought the fire together with our firefighters.
This is the government that has always been responsible and responsive wherever anything happens. Were this not election period, you know that we would have been here as we are here today. So this is not a charade.
The Mile 12 market has the largest concentration of foodstuff sellers in Lagos State, and the fire incident is the latest in the spate of fire outbreaks at markets across the state.
From the Mile 12 market down to the Oyingbo market, where 24 years after its demolition, the new Oyingbo market has been commissioned by Governor Babatunde Fashola. Speaking at the commissioning, Fashola urged the traders to vote for leaders that have the capacity to make positive impact on their lives. Abilo Luwale completes the story, as reported from our studios.
Occupying 2 hectares of land, the new Oyingbo market, according to Governor Fashola, is in fulfillment of his electioneering campaign in 2007. Addressing the traders before handing over the ultra-modern market, Fashola says 618 shops will be allocated to the original owners of the market who were displaced as a result of the reconstruction.
I expect that with this allocation, they will all leave the roadside and come back inside the market. Do you agree? Yes, sir. Iyaloja, General, do you agree? We agree. Iyaloja, Mainland, do you agree? Agree totally. Now, you know, if they do this, yes, you agree. If they do this, you know what will happen? You will free up the road network here. Commuters in Lagos can drive through here. Many people avoid Oyingbo. They avoid Murtala Mohammed because of the traffic of roadside trading.
The State Commissioner for Works, Obafemi Hamzat, advised traders to make judicious use of the 4-story market. The Iyaloja General of Lagos, Folashade Tinubu-Ojo, and the Iyaloja of Oyingbo, Basirat Balogun, commended the state government for a promise kept. Instituted in the 1920s, the Oyingbo market is known as a depot for agricultural produce, and it has been instrumental for the boom recorded in commercial activities in Lagos mainland and its environs.
We'll bring you an update from outside Nigeria after this timeout. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Pope Francis has condemned 2 suicide attacks in churches in Pakistan and accused the world of seeking to hide the persecution of Christians. The spiritual leader of Roman Catholics worldwide described the terrorist attacks against 2 Christian churches in Lahore as painful after his weekly Angelus prayer in Rome. 14 people were killed and more than 70 injured when 2 Taliban suicide bombers attacked the churches in the city of Lahore on Sunday. While praying, he also added that the persecution against Christians that the world seeks to hide comes to an end and that there is peace. Pope Francis has regularly condemned violence against Christians in Iraq and Syria and other regions, often at the hands of Islamist militants. And that wraps it this hour on CoreTV News. Do join us again at the top of the hour for more stories. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.